Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, the next story that I'm going to review for you today is called Interlude at Darkknell. It was in the Tales of the New Republic and written by Timothy Zahn and Michael Stackpole. Now, in this book, General Garm Belabis is about to flee from the Republic, or what's slowly turning into the Empire. And it basically follows his story. Now, you know Garm Belabis because he was in something that was previously published, but we haven't gotten to it chronologically, is Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy. So this is kind of a little bit backstory for Belabis, which is really cool. And it was supposed to originally be a 4-part story for Star Wars Adventure Journals. Unfortunately, West End Games lost the license and the Adventure Journals went the way of the buffalo. And so these stories didn't get printed. But what Bantam decided to do is say, hey, you know what? We have, all these short stories. We'll just take them and we'll make a book into them. They made another Tales book. Now, Tales of the New Republic came out of left field for me. I didn't know what it was. I was like, wow, another Tales book. And I was very excited. I didn't know it was just impromptu, last minute, let's just cram it all together in this one book and sell it. I thought it was just like another, maybe there's an upcoming trilogy of Tales books, I thought. And they have another one called Tales of the Empire, which basically just shows a bunch of reprinted stories from the Adventure Journal. Now, it was nice. I bought that one too, not knowing what it was, and then reading halfway through it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I have all these already. And I didn't know if Republic was that either. In fact, I thought it was at first, and I put it in my closet. I didn't even have it up on the shelf. I went, oh, these are just reprints. And then later on, I read, no, Tales of the New Republic were all new stories. I went, oh, okay. I thought I'd read them and just forgot about them. So I brought that one back out, put it up on my shelf, and it's been there ever since. This story was actually really good. It carries a lot of characters from both Zahn and Stackpole. Yasain Assard, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I don't care. From Michael Stackpole's X-Wing Rogue Squadron is in this. Also, so is Hal Horn, Corran Horn's dad. Now, from there, we're going to go back to Star Wars Tales number 9. Yippee! Called Resurrection. It's written by Ron Marz, and in this one, Darth Vader comes across the prophets of the dark side and finds out that they have resurrected a copy of Darth Maul. And so it's basically your classic what if, right? Every fanboy wanted to know, what if Darth Maul versus Darth Vader, who would win? Well, so they thought Darth Maul was dead. This is before Lucas changed his mind and brought Darth Maul back to life. Everyone was like, oh man, we wish we could have seen Darth Maul alive and fighting Darth Vader. That'd have been cool. And so that's what Star Wars Tales did. And they did it in an interesting way. To be honest, the Prophets of the Dark Side, I was very happy to see them. They're in a children's novel that I haven't talked about yet, but I will later on in the chronology. And so to bring them into the story makes sense. The story makes sense, though it's kind of forced. It's definitely fan service, right? Darth Maul versus Darth Vader. Everyone wants to see that. But the way they went about it was pretty smart. Like I said, Ron Marz, pretty smart author, so I did enjoy the story back then. For Star Wars Tales, not bad. Now, the last short story I want to talk about came from Star Wars Galaxies number 9. It's called Wonder of Worlds by John Dunavant. And in this one, Dorsoric and Tomas go on an expedition through Tatooine where they encounter sand people. It is seriously 2.5 pages long, if that. It may just be 2 pages, I can't remember. It's very short. In fact, it was such a short story that I passed it over. When I bought the collection of Galaxies magazines for its short stories, I didn't think it had one in there, so I just put it on my junk shelf. And then later on, when I was studying through the timeline, I was like, oh wait, there was a short story in there. Very, very, very short. It's a race called the Iroquois. I can't remember what their names are, but anyway, it's a weird alien race, and they say that their planet got enslaved by the Empire, and these two are just traveling through the galaxy to find some way that they can, release them, free their people from the Empire. and I found out why it was short. This was actually, John, the guy who wrote it, was actually a fan who won a contest, Create Your Own Alien. He created his own alien race, he won, and so I think it was from Star Wars Galaxies 3 was the competition. I can't remember, but they had a competition for fans to submit ideas for alien races, and the winner gets published in one of the upcoming magazines. How cool is that? Now see, you used to have a lot of fan and Lucasfilm interaction back in the day, but for giving the fans a chance to write some expanded universe, how huge is that? I remember there was one contest that I thought about entering a long time ago. I think it was Star Wars Insider, where they were asking the same thing. They were asking fans to submit short stories of different characters from the prequel movies. And I was thinking, oh, that's really cool. Of course, back then, I didn't have the confidence I do now that I could have written a story, but I remember talking to my best friend Bruce and saying, wouldn't it be awesome if we could create stories from this Naboo guard and this over here? But I just didn't have the confidence in myself to write anything. Now, I definitely regret that, because that time has long gone. Lucasfilm under Disney now does not have that much fan interaction. And it's sad that that's the case, because here you have a guy who wrote in to a contest, a magazine contest. You know he's a Star Wars fan, and he won, and he got to be published in the magazine. Think about how big that was, especially for him. I would have died if that had been me. Can you believe? Oh, I would have been bragging. I would have been known as Matt Wilkins, YouTube star and EU celebrity. You may have seen me in Star Wars Galaxy number 9, where I wrote one 2-page short story. And I definitely would have bragged about it too. I've been like, yes, I'm very important because I have written some expanded universe. Oh man, my head would have been this big instead of this big. But I just love how it used to be with fans in Lucasfilm. You'll never know, StarWars.com used to be the greatest thing. To go to the forums and talk to Leland Chee, Stan Sansweet, Sue Rastoni, and more people. And the bigwigs were always talking to the fans. It was so interactive and so much fun. And now you don't have any of that, and that is a shame. Maybe Del Rey should open up a page where they just have a little, expanded universe or legends page where they have fans submit short stories, huh? That would be interesting. Del Rey, if you're watching, look me up. All right, folks, that's all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.